Well, thank you very much, guys. Bjergsen, congratulations. All right, I'm going to let you talk to them in a second. First, I want to ask a couple of questions about the game. Papa Smithy just called that performance Rocks-esque. It was so good. And you went in with that Syndra pick. Can you break down the game for me?
I think the game just really came down to having Syndra and Lee Sin. Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit sick. And it's about making a lot of early game plays and snowballing. And I think Svenskeren is the best Lee Sin in the world, so the game becomes really easy to play.
There we go, to high praise for Svenskeren. Obviously, I have to ask you about that start yesterday, a bit of a false note with that RNG game where you also had a fantastic early game with Svenskeren. What was the focus of the talks within the team yesterday after that loss coming into today?
I think it was just respecting the Alistar pick a bit more and picking a more well-rounded comp. We had a really good comp if we could continuously snowball, but as soon as we made that one mistake where we lost a team fight, then the game was in their favor. So we were like, well, we're a better early game team than these guys. So if we pick a little bit more balanced comp, a comp that's stronger in team fights, it's going to be easier for us to close it out.
You guys are a great early game team. Do you feel like yesterday there might have also been a couple of jitters by or Frost the first time on the big stage, and do you feel like you've overcome them and you're ready to roll now?
I mean, I think there's always the very first game when you get on stage. We haven't played on stage for about a month, so I feel like everyone was a lot more comfortable today, and I think we're going to continue to play better as the tournament goes on.
Well, I'm going to let you rest because I hear that the voice is giving you a hard time, but I do have to ask about the whole experience, about being here and the pressure. All these people saying this is the best chance the West has at Worlds TSM is looking amazing. All the fans here, with all the pressure, how do you deal with that and how do you convert that into positive energy?
I think the whole split, Weldon has been teaching us how to take pressure and convert it into something positive and kind of convert it into excitement. And I think this pressure and excitement from the fans just fuels us and it makes us play even better.
Well, at the show today, you go ahead and get some rest. Congratulations, fantastic performance, Bjergsen and TSM Analyst Desk. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Shocks. Congratulations to Bjergsen and the rest of TSM on their first victory here. But first things first, all three of you were right.
Yay! High five!
We finally got it here on the Analyst Desk. But, ladies and gentlemen, this was the TSM that we expected coming into the tournament. They show up here on day two, just absolute dominance. And it all started in the early game, Kobe, with Svenskeren. Once again, now we have to get that play that got the ball rolling, presented to you by Acer. Once again, Svenskeren being a monster.
There are so many small things in this replay also that people need to look at. So hopefully we can get that one up on your screen. Okay, so they talked about it during the cast, but Sven, he knows that Elise is in there because he just cleared the ward, and that small sidestep there does so much. Then he also kites back during Elise's extra attack speed she has on right there, goes in after Haunter is able to get the stun here. They know they have the easy follow because Bjergsen is also roaming. And watch Bjergsen here, drags his own sphere up to get that stun and secure the last kill. Even though the last one was a little bit close there as Haunter, one more hit would have taken him down. From that point on, full steam ahead for TSM.
But the biggest question for me is, why was Ambition there in the first place? The cast said it over and over again. They have losing lanes across the board. You don't invade when all of your lanes are losing. Like, shoe on the other foot. No, that dude's wearing like pants on his head. Like, what, he lost?
Yeah, just absolute confusion there for Samsung Galaxy. Ambition with the aggressive move. It doesn't pay off for them. Svenskeren capitalizes. And here's where I want to take a look at the leads at 10 and 20 here for TSM. A 4K gold lead at 10 minutes. That's the highest in the tournament so far. 6.3 at 15 minutes. Compare that to the tournament averages. 720 at 10. That's like 6 times the gold lead.
Yeah, it was almost like a bit of a spoiler, right? When the game started, TSM were like, hey, you guys know we're going to win this game, right? And then that's why people were like, oh, why isn't it over yet? Why was it taking so long? This was actually not a long game. The reason it started taking so long is because TSM were so far ahead that there wasn't anything else Samsung Galaxy could do except for continually spam out the poke on the Varus and the Ezreal into the brush and the Elise volatile spiraling. Those are all tools that they use really well to try and prolong the game and then sneak in those wards as soon as TSM recalled and get those couple of wards around Baron that delayed the game.
Clement, jump in here.
They really are picking a lot of compositions that have a lot of kill pressure in all lanes. You look down here, Jin, Braum, and Kennen, they have so much burst damage. They're doing that with the Lee Sin so well. And Svenskeren was in the enemy jungle 26% of the time. That's a huge amount of counter jungle rate. I think the game went on long because there was nothing else to take in the enemy jungle. There was nothing there.
The only other thing that I really have to point out with draft phase, though, like while you bring it up, is the fact that they banned Vladimir. TSM banned Vladimir on the blue side. That pretty much guarantees it's going to be a Syndra first pick. Or you can say that, okay, we want the Syndra because Vlad's like the obvious pick into it. And for Samsung to then last ban Cassiopeia and then to take the Varus, I mean, obviously they were prepared for the matchup. It's obviously it was coming, but just kind of a big question mark there.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's maybe a matchup that they wanted. They thought they could play through. Clearly not the case, and that's where I want to finally look at Bjergsen's damage share. Comparison to yesterday, 18% damage share on that Orianna, not living up to the standards that he would even set for himself. But the comparison here, 30% of his team's damage today, and we saw it. Him and Svenskeren as a duo, heading to those side lanes, getting those picks, and really accelerating the game.
Yeah, they kind of talked about it a little bit where gone are the days of solo killing and it's more about pushing up and roaming. Bjergsen solo killed and roamed. And got solo kills on Crown.
I'll take
then
that
pushed up the
guy.
minions, then also roamed and went to the side lanes.
Right.
I mean, yeah, complete control from the mid lane. And we've seen it multiple times already where Syndra is really, really high on the priority list for a lot of the teams that have these very good Syndra players. And there are very few options that you have to try and pick into that. If Vladimir has been getting banned, as we've been seeing, then it just leaves you with very few options. And Crown, back to his old Varus, did not have a fun day.
And Clement, we've talked about the importance of junglers in this tournament, and of course, player of the game going to Svenskeren once again. This guy is looking like a monster for this squad, especially on the likes of Lee Sin. I mean, I think teams are going to have to start considering that pick either away or banning it from him.
Exactly. I think this is a very good read from the TSM meta. It's all about pushing the lanes up and going into the enemy buffs. So you see the main areas where people are playing around are the 4 buffs between that, and once again get the mid lane pushing. Like, there's nothing much the enemy jungler can actually do when he can outduel you every time.
Well, success for TSM here on day 2. We're going to take a quick break, but in just a few minutes we'll be back for the next face-off of Worlds 2016 between the LPL's Royal Never Give Up and Europe's Splice. Now, as we go, we'll get a look at fans that were supporting TSM all the way from New York City during that win over Samsung Galaxy.
TSM! TSM! TSM!
Yo, we got home field advantage. Let's fucking go.
Svenskeren can he do it again? Right to the queue. What up, over? They've got QB first blood. TSM starts him over the wall. Ambition propels down to his death. Also with the second kill.
It's Crown now.
Oh, good stuff from Bjergsen. Flash kick. Ulti all in, and Sven gets the next one.
They're starting Baron right
Here's the panic from Samsung Cuvée. Crown actually
Rumble. Is that what he said?
just towards Cuvée for the stun. The zone news is good, but I don't think it's going to save him. And Horza grabs the double.
Go Rumble. He's done. Go Baron. Actually, can we end?
And TSM going to win their first game at Worlds.